So, I'm really excited to talk about some ChatGPT stuff, AI, and I want to set the framework. Really important because ChatGPT, AI tools are only going to be as good as your knowledge of sales and marketing. And is it Kunal? I see you have your hand up. I'm going to do a Q&A session at the end. Just so you know, I had, let me turn this up a little bit, make sure I have it. Hold on. Just so you know, oh, here we go. Hold on a second, everybody. I know what the problem was. There we go. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I had my headphone plugged into the wrong device. I had in the Q&A sessions previously, I've had people come up on stage, ask me questions. One lady was able to schedule 4 meetings following the event by acting on the advice I gave her. And check this out. I had a guy who actually closed 3 sales the day after the event, executing on the ideas I gave him. His name's Christopher, and the lady's name is Leah. So don't be shy. We're going to take questions at the end. Right now, I want to get into talking about the foundation for sales and marketing, and then I'm going to segue that into AI tools and how to utilize AI tools in ChatGPT so you can have the foundation and you can start to communicate with your target audience. These are your prospects, the people that you serve. Okay? And if you share, see the share button down there? If you share this, I have some ChatGPT prompts that I will send your way through a Google Doc. And I'll also list some of the AI tools I'm talking about today. If you share this event, I'll send them to you. And I have a huge apology because the last event I had last week, I had tons and tons of messages and the notifications got buried. And so if you shared last week and didn't get the prompts and the tools that I talked about, send me, I'll just do it on the honor system. Send me a direct message and I'll send those out to you, okay? So if you share this, I'll get a notification and I'll send you the prompts. By the way, how many people are using ChatGPT currently? Could you give me a thumbs up? Okay. All right. 1 person. Anybody else? 2. Arena, great to see you. All right. Okay. Let's do this. You have the thumbs up emoji, you have the laugh emoji, and the hand clapping emoji. If you use ChatGPT on a monthly basis, give me a thumbs up. If you use ChatGPT on a weekly basis, give me a laugh emoji. And if you're using ChatGPT on a daily basis, give me a clap emoji. The reason why I'm asking this is because I want to speak to you based on your knowledge and whatnot. Okay. All right. So we got a kind of a wide assortment, and we have some people who aren't engaging. So I'll just take it that maybe you don't use ChatGPT, and there's nothing wrong with that. We see the world as we are and not as it is. And since I'm involved with AI and ChatGPT, by the way, I'm not the foremost expert on this. I'm just telling you this up front. I'm a sales and marketing guy. I help people identify and attract new clients to them predictably. That's what I do. And I understand AI and ChatGPT is a powerful resource, and I'm learning as much as possible, and I'm executing on it. And I'm seeing how I can grow my business, and it's helping me reduce time, schedule more meetings, and have improve the quality of the meetings. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to just break down the 3 essentials in order to grow your business, and then I'm going to segue into AI tools and whatnot, okay? The 3 essentials you need to have is leverage, positioning, conversion. Leverage and positioning is about marketing, and conversion is about sales. Marketing, this is so important. If you don't understand this, you're not going to be able to utilize the AI tools. You're not going to be able to understand what prompts. Prompts are questions that you ask ChatGPT or AI tools in general. If you don't understand the basic foundation for marketing and sales, you will not be able to utilize in the resources and with AI and ChatGPT. Marketing is all about building the confidence in your prospect's mind about you and your offer being able to solve their problem. Now, you need to be able to identify your target audience and know it. And if you have a new business, how many people out there have newer businesses, say within the last 1 to 2 years? You have a new business. Great, Gabriel. Great to see you, man. Okay, Sandro. And how many people have businesses that are 2 years and over? Give me a thumbs up if you would. Okay, so 2 years. Scott, laugh emoji. Okay. Okay. All right. So the reason why I ask this is when I work with clients and they have a newer business, they don't really know their target market and they're thinking about, oh, I'm going to work with blank. And they've heard the riches are in the niches, meaning I want to be really niched in and speak to this specific target audience. But if you're just starting a business, that niche may be off. Let me explain something. When I started my business in 2016, I just knew I was going to work with businesses, B2B businesses that were between 40 and 200 employees, between 3 million and 10 million in revenue, basically. Guess what? About a year and a half into it, all the people that I was talking to, the people that I was engaging with, the people that my content was speaking to were people that were B2B consultants and they were between 1 to 10 employees. Guess what? I was wrong. I was projecting into my target audience based on my experience, based on my comfort zone, and because of that, I missed the mark. But I was still growing my business and I had a 6-figure business within 15 months. But by executing on my thoughts and ideas, I was able to understand that I had a different target market. So with ChatGPT, one of the things that you can do that is really helpful, this is where I find it's the most help, is you have an offer, you have a solution, and so you ask ChatGPT. And by the way, if you're using ChatGPT, just get ChatGPT 4. It's only $20 a month. It is well worth the $20. Okay, it will pay you back dividends big time. The ROI is, if you can't invest $20 a month, then you shouldn't be in business. Okay, I'm saying that in a very strong way, but I'm saying that because I want to help you and I want to encourage you and challenge you. So if you have a target market, if I would say, ChatGPT, please ask me questions one at a time. I have a business that's new, and my solution is being able to provide a system. Within the system provides marketing to identify and attract prospects, new prospects, predictably to my clients, and a sales process that helps them convert into new clients. Ask me questions one at a time to help me get clarity on understanding my target market better so I can create content and I can position myself. I'm going to talk about positioning here in a second. So I can create content and position myself in such a way to speak to their needs. And it will start asking me, well, tell me a little bit more about how you're going to help them attract people or attract prospects to them. What platform are you going to use? Are you going to use email marketing? Is it going to be SEO? And it will ask you questions one at a time. And by doing this, it will give you clarity on who you're serving. And if I would have had ChatGPT back in 2016, it probably would have saved me 6 months in getting clarity on who my target market was. So do you guys understand that? So if you're confused with your target market, one of the best things with ChatGPT is to ask it questions. The questions you ask it, the prompts, people call it prompts or a prompt engineer. What's a prompt engineer? A prompt engineer is someone who asks AI or ChatGPT questions. Are you all tracking with me so far? Okay. The quality of the question determines the output. And so if you're struggling with anything, you can say, ChatGPT, I'm looking to create content to reach certain target audience. Please ask me questions one at a time so I can create content that will speak to their needs and wants. And it will ask you questions.
Unknown caller.
It will ask you questions one at a time. If you ask it to ask you questions one at a time. You guys catching what I'm throwing down? Okay. So you have to understand marketing. It's about building confidence in your prospect's mind. And you need to understand sales. It's about conversion. Three things you need to have in place: leverage, positioning, and conversion. When you have leverage and positioning, it will lead to conversion. Leverage on LinkedIn, to make it simple, is what? Content. Content is a way to get leverage. Why do I say that's leverage? Because if you're speaking specifically to your target audience's main need and want, and you've used ChatGPT to understand the need and wants of your target audience, then you can speak directly to it. Now, how many people out there say, Chaz, I don't have time to create content? Anybody? I find that people that have time but don't have the money are the people that will create content. And then you have people who with more established business who have the money but they don't have the time. So I'm going to tell you how to create over 3,000 pieces of content with spending less than 2 hours a week using AI. You heard me correct. 3,000 pieces of content by spending less than 2 hours a week. Okay, I'm going to get to that. Back to the three things: leverage, positioning, conversion. Leverage, you're speaking to your prospect's main need and want. You can use ChatGPT to come up with ideas, and then you can like, for instance, with ChatGPT, I had a post about biohacks. Biohacks are health hacks, and by doing something simple to help you improve your immune system, your emotional health, your physical health, and like Wim Hof breathing, meditation. These are all forms of biohacks. So I was writing some content about this. And normally if I write content about it, I will lay it out, I'll rearrange it and whatnot. I just said to ChatGPT, I'm going to write some content about the 8 benefits of biohacks. And I'm going to talk about Wim Hof breathing, mention that, and explain what that is. I'm going to talk about diaphragmatic breathing, that's belly breathing. I'm going to talk about ice baths. I'm going to talk about saunas. I'm going to talk about exercise and provide a summary with bullet points, the 8 benefits of biohacks and how it can help you be more effective and efficient as an entrepreneur. By the way, that's the ChatGPT working in the background. And me, I have the content in my mind. I can go through the process and whatnot. It would normally take me, I'm much better now. If I was just starting, it would take me like an hour or something to put that together. Now, it's given me the content in a matter of seconds. It's my idea. I'm just asking it to refine my idea and put it in a way that is explainable and makes sense, that is succinct. And if ChatGPT comes back to me and says, or it gives me an answer, I can say, that's not good enough. You can do better. And it will do it. And it will say, oh, I'm sorry. It'll do better. And then I can say, put it in a tone that's a little bit more impactful and then I'm like, oh, that's kind of strong. I like the impactful. Put a hint of nurturing with a little bit sense of humor, and it will spit out the information based on what you're saying. So when you first ask ChatGPT something, if you're just looking for ChatGPT to write content for you, know this. It's going to be bland, vanilla. It's not going to be special. You are the key to your content being extraordinary, being that extraordinary, because you being you will attract the exact right people to you and repel the wrong ones. If you're just relying, ChatGPT, tell the 3 reasons why SEO is so important to grow your business and lay out 10 bullet points. It's going to sound like any other person who's out there, and so many people are using ChatGPT, and they'll just take that and copy and paste that. That's not going to provide value. And you know what? Social media platforms, they have a sniffer. I'm not sure the technological name. Sniffer that sniffs out if there's actually an AI produced content as opposed to something else. Okay? So it will help you if you have the knowledge and understanding of your target market. And with that, you can provide leverage within your content. You guys all catching what I'm throwing down? Okay, positioning. So leverage on LinkedIn is your content. This live event is a form of content. And by the way, if you're in a place with your business, either you have an established business, but you're not increasing the lifetime value of your clients, meaning upsells and cross sells, or you do not have a predictable way to identify and attract new clients to you. This is what I do. I use the acronym TABS, TTABS, tactic, technique, attitude, behavior, strategy. Tactic is what you do. I'm having a live event. That's a tactic. Technique is how you do what you do. Okay, that has it's I can have an event, but I'm going to talk about it in such a way with tone. I'm going to hit on certain points. A is for attitude. Nothing happens well in business without the right perspective, mindset, and attitude. And B is for behaviors. Those are the things you do. And if you do a certain amount of these, if I do 20 of these, I will get 3 appointments and 1 client. It's the things, the actions you take to move the needle. And S is strategy. It's all about understanding and knowing your target audience and speaking directly to their need and want, so you build confidence in their mind. So if you are not growing your business, bringing clients in, identifying clients predictably, send me an email at chazhorn@chazhorn.com. Subject line, sales and marketing analysis, and I'd be happy to schedule a time to go over that with you. You'll be glad you did. You'll get clarity, which will give you confidence, and then we can take a next step to move you forward to have a customized system and process to attract clients to you. So send me an email, first and last name at firstandlastname.com, chazhorn@chazhorn.com. All right. So positioning on LinkedIn is where? Your profile and your business page. When people go to your profile, if you have leverage that gets people's attention, and that's the most important commodity in today's marketplace is people's time and attention. People's attention span is less than that of a goldfish. This was a study, I think it was back in 2017. I think goldfish's attention span is 9 seconds. Now, I'm not sure exactly if they had a stopwatch with that goldfish and when it moved, squirrel. I don't know what the goldfish's version of squirrel is, meaning it's distracted. But somehow they came up with a goldfish's attention span is 9 seconds. Humans is less than this. This is in 2017. 2023, it's even less than that. If you don't capture the attention of your prospect and keep it, they'll move on down the road. So if you have leverage within your content, and then it's that leverage is taking people to your positioning, which is your profile, and your positioning is off, you have a 3 seconds. It's a 3-second rule, by the way. That's not dropping food on the ground and eating it, okay? That's the 7-second rule where I grew up. The 3-second rule is they go to your profile, you capture their attention, they're intrigued, and they stay there. And if your profile is set up incorrectly, and I did a survey with this, it was a number of years back, maybe 4 years, 1,127 profiles, over 91% of those profiles, they were not positioned correctly. It was a type of profile you go to, and John Smith, CEO, and, no banner photo or stock image. It just said no information about how they can serve their prospects and their clients. So you have to pass the 3-second rule. So when they go to your profile, you need to have a value proposition under your name. People don't care if you're a CEO, founder. That may sound good to you, but it's not about you. It's about them. Okay? So it's about serving your prospects, speaking to them based on their needs, their wants, their motivators. We call that emotional intelligence. And so your value proposition is what you can use with ChatGPT. ChatGPT, I'm setting up my LinkedIn profile. I serve technology companies that provide managed services between $1 to $10 million of the size companies that I serve, and their target audience is blank, blank, and blank. Help me create a value proposition that's succinct, impactful, that grabs their attention. And it will come back and say, or you could say, ask me questions one at a time so we can get clarity for a value proposition that goes below my name on my LinkedIn profile. You guys understanding what I'm saying? So for instance, with my value proposition, B2B consultants predictably schedule qualified meetings and convert into new clients with Mastery's client acquisition blueprint. That gets people's attention. I have more people reach out to me. It's like, Chaz, I'm interested in understanding what Mastery's client acquisition blueprint is. And so you get their attention within the leverage, within the content. It drives them to your profile, and then they go from top to bottom if it's set up correctly. And with ChatGPT, not only that, you can say, you can do the about section. Here's my history. I've served 100 clients. I've helped them schedule 36,000 qualified meetings and helped them onboard 19,000 new clients in their business. Help me create a about section within my LinkedIn profile to get people's attention. And I would go on and on about different things. And I would say things like, I see there's a disturbing trend in the marketplace today as people are looking to outsource their sales and their marketing. It doesn't work. And LinkedIn will bring that information back I'm sorry, LinkedIn, but ChatGPT will give me the information, and then I can refine it. Or I can say, you can do better. Make it more impactful. Make 3 bullet points. Bullet point number 2 didn't make much sense. Remember, my prospects are B2B consultants, and they serve and I would list off about 5 or 6, 7 things. All right. So, are you guys getting value from this? Does this make sense to you all? If you are, please hit the share button. Thank you, Arena. And I will share the ChatGPT prompts with you afterwards, okay? Now, here's something really cool, and then I'm going to open it up for a Q&A session, all right? Remember I said you can produce over 3,000 pieces of content spending less than 2 hours a week? How many of you guys, give me a thumbs up if you think I'm full of it. Okay? Give me a heart emoji if you want to hear how. Okay? All right, Gabriel, you went from thumbs up to heart. Thank you. I was like, okay. So, how many people listen to Gary Vaynerchuk? Anybody? Gary Vaynerchuk. He's well known for document your journey. Document your journey. What is documenting your journey? Documenting your journey is show people your life behind the scenes and quit with the Instagram perfection where it's like, hey, look at me. I'm perfect and you're not. And I want you to notice me. That repels more people than it will attract, depending upon, I mean, unless you're like in the beauty industry or something like this. On LinkedIn, if you're serving B2B clients, document the journey, because I had a post this morning that was talking the untold story of the entrepreneur. And I have the video of me. I'm stressed out. I'm on my knees. I'm praying. I'm meditating. Because this is real. Screaming because this is real. And I've repurposed this content. And before it did really well. I'm not sure how it's doing right now. I just posted it this morning. People want to see the behind the scenes. So you have meetings each and every week. You have team members. Maybe you don't have a team member. Maybe you have a VA. Do you meet with prospects? Okay. Do you? Do you meet with your team members? Do you meet virtually or do you meet in person? Let me ask you a question. How many people are meeting with their prospects online? Give me a thumbs up and give me a heart emoji if you're meeting with clients in person. Okay. All right. So thank you for engaging. So it could be either way can be used. There's Otter AI, there's Read.ai, there's Fireflies.ai, and what this is it will record the video and it will record the conversation of all your conversations. And so think about this: if you have 4 meetings a week, let me break this down. So this, Otter.ai, I don't like that as much. Fireflies.ai, Read.ai. There's also Vowel, I believe, .ai. They'll provide written and video content for you. You can upload the video for these meetings into podsqueeze.com, and Podsqueeze will take the information and it will give you quotes for template posts that LinkedIn has, which is one of the more popular posts these days. It's newer within the last 6 months or so. It will give you carousel. Carousel are those slides that go, 5 things to develop your mindset. And it'll be number 1, blank. So it will provide carousel slides for you for content. It will provide newsletter content from the written form of your meetings that you have. And with one meeting that lasts for an hour, it will give you anywhere from 5 to 20 pieces of written content. Okay, short form content, long form content. Long form meaning 3,000, and then really long form like newsletters. Okay, so you can cut up your video with vidyo.ai, vidyo.ai. This will automatically give you shorts, meaning 60 seconds or less, and it will do the cuts and it will actually pull you out of the video, and so you don't have anyone else in there if you don't want them. I have a couple clients that are over 60 and they're doing podcast interviews. And for each podcast interview they're getting anywhere from 5 to 20 pieces of content with shorts and longer form content. Some of them have the person asking them the questions and some of them don't. All right. So if you have 5 meetings a week, I'm being conservative, you have 35 pieces of content a week, and this is being real conservative, over 1,820 pieces of content in a year. I said 3,000. I'm being really conservative with 1820. It should be over 3,000, okay? In the form of written, video, carousels, and newsletters. It will provide tweets. And so it's not just LinkedIn. It will provide whatever you put in, it will provide based on the information that you want it to bring back, okay? Again, it will provide the video cuts for you. With the captioning, it does all the work in the background. There may be some massaging and things that you need to do, but these two clients who used vidyo.com or .ai, they're over 60 and they're technologically challenged, okay? And they had no problem using vidyo.ai, okay? So if you have meetings with people, document it. Let the world see you for who you are behind the scene, meeting with your team, planning. And if you have a meeting, you could just record it and then put in Pod Squeeze for written content. And then you can take the video and cut it up into a bunch of different forms of content. All right. When you document your journey, you show yourself behind the scenes, working through challenges, working through struggles. Nobody does this. Very few people do this. And if you do this, you'll be different, because so many people are trying to project on the world someone who is so successful. You know what? If you're real with people and let people see your real world behind the scenes, you're not perfect, you're growing a business, you'll attract more people than you can imagine. All right. Anybody have a question about AI, sales? Put your hand up, come up on stage, and let's have a conversation. And again, this is time for you to be selfish with your time and ask me. I've helped hundreds of businesses over the last 6 years grow their business. A couple people, as I mentioned earlier, one person came up on stage, asked a question. She scheduled 4 meetings the next day. One person, Christopher, came up on stage. He closed 3 deals that afternoon. Now, full disclosure, I'm not guaranteeing you're going to schedule 4 meetings if you come up on stage and ask me a question, but I'm here to help you, okay? And the biggest obstacle from you getting from where you are to where you want to go is what? You. And within you, what's the biggest obstacle that's making you that hindrance in your way? Fear. Hey, Irina, come on up.
Hello, hello!
Hey, Irina.
It's great to be here. I missed you.
Yeah, well, I missed you. It's been a couple weeks. How have you been?
Yes, I'm doing fine. Thank you so much. The information, as always, wealth of beautiful, interesting information. So the question is, how would I utilize ChatGPT for finding the prospects on LinkedIn?
So, do you know? Okay, so let me get some context here, because it's a great question. So, ChatGPT, and it may be another AI tool that may be better. So, are you talking about? Who have you identified who your target audience is? Because I know you have
Yes,
okay. Who's your target audience?
spiritual seekers looking for the purpose and passion.
Spiritual seekers looking for purpose and passion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think that may be. What have you been? Let me.
Too broad?
I don't know if it's too broad, but I can just tell you. I'm just pulling up your profile real quick. The law of attraction is always working. I'm looking at your, say, manifestation coach. Like, okay, I'm just looking through your profile right now. Just giving you some feedback. All the writing, you have too much write. Can I be direct with you? Is that okay?
Of course. Yes, I want you to be direct with me, of
Okay.
course.
So less is more. You have like a paragraph of information there. Few
Mm-hmm.
words, huge font, exaggerate it, because right now it doesn't pass the 3-second rule. There's just too much information there. and I'm on my
Mm-hmm.
phone right now. So if you were going to ask ChatGPT, it would just be ask me questions one at a time so I can get clarity on how I can reach people through LinkedIn. So ChatGPT, I'm reaching spiritual blank 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 on LinkedIn. Um, Ask me questions one at a time so I can get clarity on where to reach them. Or ChatGPT, please give me the best way to access these people on LinkedIn, and it will give you a summary, and then you can drill down and say, okay, that was okay, but I think you can do better. Sometimes I've done this like 10 times, Arena. You can do
Mm-hmm.
better. You can do better. You can do better. All right. I'm looking to be able to find them through content on LinkedIn. Okay. How can I find keywords with the content of these people on LinkedIn? And it'll say, uh, do keywords, or it might give you an answer like hashtags. And then you can look at the keywords on the search bar on regular LinkedIn, not having to worry about Sales Navigator, okay? And Sales Navigator is a good tool, but it's not really necessary depending upon where you are. But does that help and
Mm-hmm.
does that make sense?
Yes, I'm just writing down. Yes, it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's
And
go ahead.
I guess also, Chaz, I could ask even ChatGPT, like throw all the description that I have right now and say, make it short and concise.
Yes, most definitely. That's exactly. It is. It's we're we're habitual creatures. And the other day, I was struggling to get ready for my um, to get clarity. I mean, how many times have you prepared for an event or prepared for a meeting with a prospect, with a team, whatever it might be, and you're like, oh man, I can't get this. What's going on? So I just regurgitate, and I'm using that word on purpose. I regurgitate everything that's in my mind into ChatGPT. ChatGPT. I don't. I mean, you don't need to call it Chat, but please. I'm having an event tomorrow, and I'm going to talk about blank, 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 and blank, blank, blank. Please put this into a summary that's succinct and impactful. That's going to get people's attention, and it will give me the answer. And if I don't like it, you can do better. You know, it sounds too cheesy. Make it more professional because I'm speaking to B2B consultants. And for you, it's like, that sounds too stale. Make it a little bit more creative. I'm talking to spiritual people here. Okay? So,
Yeah, that's beautiful.
yeah, the more you use ChatGPT, the better you'll get with using the prompts. Make sense?
Hmm. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, great to see you. I like your new profile picture.
Thank you,
Ron,
appreciate it.
please unmute yourself and welcome.
Hi, Chaz. Well, as I speak to you here, I'm actually on holiday, on vacation in an island in the Mediterranean. So I've just come back from the beach. So if I'm a bit laid back and too casual, then you can say that. Have a go at me, criticize me. So here's my question for you.
Uh huh.
Um, do you find what's your view on how people view people who post a lot on LinkedIn? I was talking to a contact the other day, and he said, "Of course, Rob. Maybe this is a British thing. We're very bit sarcastic and cynical of people. People who post too much on LinkedIn have got too much spare time on their hands, and the real people who are busy would never do all that nonsense, or it would be, So, do you think there's any form of overload or cynicism or people taking a superior view to people who post too much on LinkedIn, I guess is the question.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. By the way, I post a lot on LinkedIn. Okay, so it's like, what does this Chaz guy do, man? Does he have any clients? He's always posting on LinkedIn. So here's my short answer on that. Quality comes from quantity. Okay, and here's my longer answer on that. If you look at people who are utilizing platforms who are extremely successful. Let me just name a few of them: like Grant Cardone, um, Alex Hormozy, his wife Layla Hormozy, Gary Vaynerchuk. They post content a lot. Like if you talk to Gary Vaynerchuk, and he'll ask you, "What should I do? Post on LinkedIn 25 times a day." I mean, that's a little bit of a hyperbole, but it's not too far off. So if you're just getting started and you need to utilize the platforms, you need to know and understand what to post and what not to post, but you don't know until you get a lot of content out there. I have one of my clients, by the way, Rod, and I want to hang out in the island with you in maybe like a couple of weeks or something like that, because I'm going to take a vacation holiday. You know, we have Arena with her dialect and her voice, and now we have Rod. Isn't it cool how on LinkedIn, how we can talk to the entire world? And we're on holiday. Or mum, is your mom, would you refer to her as mum?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so just those little things where you guys use like organize, you would use an S instead of a Z. It's just cool how we have all this access to people around the world. So that's my short and my longer answer. But that being said, when I was just working through, if you document and record the meetings and you have a system in place, you can come up, as I said, like 1,680 pieces of content in a year by spending less than 2 hours a week. One of my clients,
Okay.
yeah, so one of my clients from the UK, he moved to Florida, and he goes, I grew up in UK, and there's just a different mindset. Now I'm living in Florida because in UK people are really they're sarcastic. They think, okay, well, where did you go to school and where did you go here and whatnot? And in the United States, we're just focused on results, basically. It's just different cultures. And so if you're serving people in the United States, first and foremost, that mindset is if you think about what other people are thinking about you, then you've lost before you even got started. So it's not what people think about you, it's what you think people think about you. And so you need to find what's right for you. But if you don't get content out consistently, then you're not going to know what content's resonating and what content isn't. Does that make sense?
Yes, okay. Now, I didn't hear all the calls, so I heard you talk about the video part. If people are producing audio, what's the best AI tool to help you carve up or repurpose your audio as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, so podsqueeze.com will
Yeah.
take your audio and turn it into tweets, quotes, long form, short form, templates, slides. So that is one. There is also Descript. And so Descript is, I think it's Descript. I'm not sure if you just put Descript into Google, you'll find it. It will do a lot of different things with it. But if you want to take your audio and put it into shorts and whatnot, Descript is good. You can also take the audio into vidyo.ai as well, and it will cut up segments for you, and it can repurpose it for that, because you cannot upload, a 45-minute audio message on LinkedIn. You can only upload up to 9 minutes on LinkedIn. Does that make sense?
Yep, great, thank you.
Yep, great questions. Enjoy the holiday. I like that. I'm gonna go on holiday here pretty soon. Anybody else? Come on up. Don't be shy. Can I tell you something? I'm gonna finish this. I got one more question after Sandro, so raise your hand if you want to come up on stage. Sandro, great to see you.
Hi, Chaz. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Welcome.
Perfect. Well, thank you for having me. My question has to do again with ChatGPT.
Yep.
and it has to do with the syntax in which you ask questions to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as you just mentioned a moment ago, people from all over the world may have different ways of expressing themselves. So, what's the impact that you've noticed on ChatGPT? Like, for example, when you say you can do better, that's one way of saying it. But what will happen? You say, "Hey, you can improve this." Will it be a terribly different answer, or it'll be more or less the same?
There's only one way to find that out. is use it. Yes, I have one of my
Okay.
clients that calls me Chaz GPT, but I I don't know because
Okay.
yeah. So I you just have to ask it. But that being said, or I should say, and when you're working with ChatGPT, it will get to know and understand you, and it will understand what's important to you and what's not, and how you speak, and it will have a knowledge base of you. Okay, it can, if you want to put it in the tone of, like I was talking about, put this in the tone of Gary Vaynerchuk, it will do that. Put it in the tone of Alex Hormozy, it will do that. Put it in the tone of as anybody you can think of. This doesn't sound like me. Make it more blank. Does that make sense? Was there a reason behind that question? Maybe I should have asked that first.
Well, partly yes, because part of my clientele is some from Latin America. So that was another part of my question was, does GPT do well with other languages apart from English? Like, for example, Spanish.
Yeah.
And I guess you.
Yeah, you just so understand this. This is a really good question. It's Chat GPT. I saw some statistic that Chat GPT or AI in general will be smarter than all humans in the world if they combine all their brains within 12, 18 months, which is a little scary. Okay. But that being said, it's getting information from everywhere. So if you're serving someone in Latin America, then say, I'm speaking, my audience is in Latin America and I want to create blank. Do something that, or you can say, ask me questions one at a time so I can speak to. I mean, if it's a certain country in Latin America, I mean, because I know, Argentina, there's a lot of people in Argentina that speak English, and there's a lot of people that are out. I believe that's the right. I might, maybe you know better than I do. I think that's it, where people are outsourcing in the United States because they have the skill sets, they speak English, and it's 1/4 of the cost of having people that they would hire here in the United States. So
Well, you can make that argument for with Philippines also.
right,
But yeah, the in Latin America, different countries give different importances to teaching English to their people, and Argentina is one of the most cultured countries in South America. So yeah, it makes sense. However, my market is Spanish speaking, even though they might speak English, but the services are for them in terms of communicating in Spanish. So now, of course, I do my presentations and I speak with them on my own. I put together my own things. But I was hoping that ChatGPT, I can ask the questions in Spanish, and then it'll produce whatever it needs to produce in order to help me out with that. Um, there's also the caveat that different countries and different regions of Latin America have different business or corporate cultures, and with very different ways of approaching them. So how to explain that to Chat GPT? Like, I don't know how I'm addressing the corporate clientele of companies with more than 10,000 clients, employees, and that export goods to the United States and Latin America. And I need you to do this in Spanish for the corporate Lima market. Would it understand that? And again, I say all this in Spanish. Would I that understand that?
yeah. I just, while you're speaking, Sandro, I asked ChatGPT, "Do you speak Spanish?" Sí, hablo español. Come on, and then I can't. My Spanish is I need to work on it. Let's just put it that way. So,
At
but
least you don't work in you don't live in Florida, right?
no, I don't.
Oh yeah, you have to learn Spanish if you live here.
Yeah, most definitely. So, yeah, if you say, I'm going to, I have people in Cuba that speak mostly Spanish, I'm going to talk, or I'm going to serve in Guatemala, or whatever it is, if
Hmm.
you bring that into the conversation in Spanish, it will give you a response in Spanish. And then you can
Yeah,
continue to drill down, meaning asking additional questions to get clarity and get it better and better. It's like,
yeah.
remember, the culture here is blank, and this is how I want to speak to them. So respond in a way that's going to resonate with them in Latin America as opposed to the United States.
It makes sense. And again, at this point, it's a lot of trial and error in terms of actually learning how it works and what kind of answers it gives. And like you said, it's actually becoming more intelligent by the day. So probably just by hinting things, it'll actually give you the answers that you need. Not even giving that much precise precision, right? Because as you said, it actually learns as you actually ask it questions, and it keeps that in its record. So it actually learns about you also. So in the future, it'll probably just say, "Hey, I need to talk about blank," and it gives you a whole book to talk about.
And understand this: there's, it's not only you, but it's millions of people are using it daily. So it's
Yeah,
getting more and more and more intelligent, and it's accessing that information. So even today, as compared when ChatGPT was born in the fall, it's the answers are night and day difference. When I started using ChatGPT 3, then went to 3.5, and now I'm at ChatGPT 4. It's a night and day difference. And the crazy thing is, it's happening at a pace that's exponentially beyond what I could even comprehend. But it's the world that we're living in now.
correct. Well, thank you very much, Chaz, for that answer.
Yep, you're most welcome. Everybody, give him a hand and give Arena a hand for coming up on stage and Rod a hand. So next Tuesday, I'm going to have another session that's going to be sales and marketing. I'm going to send you a message. If you share this, I will send you ChatGPT prompts to help you because those are the questions. It will help expedite your learning process and getting better information sooner rather than later. So if you share this, you'll get that. And if you want a sales and marketing analysis for your business, send me an email at chazhorn@chazhorn.com. And remember, I will send you two questions. What was the takeaway? And what's one thing that you'd like me to talk about in the future? Please respond because I want to improve these. I want to serve all of you. I want you to walk away with aha moments. I want you to walk away with information that you can apply to your business. Okay? Whether you're my clients or not, my why is to help you see and realize your potential. So please respond to those questions. And letting you know, one person responded to the question. He said, Chaz, can you do a training on how to have an intro call so it turns into a client more often than not? Guess what? I did how to turn an intro call into a client, and that was one of my biggest attendance. That was my had more attendance for that audio event, and then I repurposed it for a LinkedIn Live because I record these and I replay them Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and it was one of my the most people attended my LinkedIn Live as well. So you have the information that I need to understand and speak to, and I can't say to ChatGPT, or I could say to ChatGPT, ChatGPT, I had Jamie Horn, Brad Thomas, and I can go on down the line. Look them up on LinkedIn, and what would be something that I should talk about in a LinkedIn Live event coming up? Maybe I'll try that, and I'll do that next Thursday. All right, everybody. Thank you.